6 nights until New Year's Eve. Until New Year's, basically. When I finally claw myself out of the well of slumber, the sun has already barely set. Callie is still fast asleep, laid on my couch like the corpse that she is. Who knows how long still until she stirs. I kill time the way I always do. I plunge into the unknown of novels, essays, and treatises, looking for even the barest mention of inner voices, the briefest explanation of their purported providence. My research so far has been fruitless, and tonight is no exception. I hope Veritra comes through on her promise soon enough. A flicker of movement catches my attention as Callie's eyes crack open, but I continue looking at the dusty page in front of me. Hello, I know you're pretending, or let's go. I can see you're awake, you know. She scoffs at me, sounding like a displeased cat. I'm not hiding or anything, just assessing the situation. Oh, and what is your assessment? That you're a nerd who reads books first thing in the evening, especially ones thicker than bricks. Honestly, there's nothing I can say in my defense. The book I'm holding really is thicker than a brick. So, did I snooze through anything noteworthy? I jot down one last note and carefully close the book before finally glancing up at her. She's sitting upright now and squints around the room in a bit of a daze. That would depend on your definition of noteworthy, but I have been pondering our next steps. Oh, do tell. I have been working for the Anarchs for the past 2 years and forged friendly relationship with some of them. Torque included, although in this particular case I would rather avoid his presence. Trouble in paradise? Hilarious. Trouble in the Bronx. Torque is more than occupied with the current goings-on within his turf. He may have neither time nor patience for a visit. Pity! So what do you propose then? I look out the window, collecting my thoughts into a Korean stream. The allegations against your sire. See, I happen to know someone who used to be deeply entrenched in the darker corners of the Red Market, an anarch working not too far from here. If Castle truly wields as much influence as the court suggests, my contact could offer substantial aid. Substantial, you say? Wow, can't argue with that. Except it's a no-go, amigo. Again with her insufferable slang. I repeat the word, trying to get used to their shape in my mouth. A no-go, amigo. Look, I get it. You have friends and contacts and plenty, but so do I. Also, I know Raynor Castle like the back of my hand. We've been dealing all around the city on and off for almost 2 years. There's gotta be somebody there who knows where he bailed. I'm sure her lengthy elaboration will lead to a point. Someday. I can see her hesitation, as if she's mulling over something in her head. I wonder what she's trying to conceal now. There's this one guy who hangs around Harlem, Elie Sansaric. Apparently he's one of the few kindred that doesn't burn with hatred from Reynard, so it must mean we're getting along. Bewilderment surges through me. Elie Sansaric? The serpent? Why? Do you have something against them? Excuse me? I see what you're doing, or is this a joke? The bait she dangles in front of my eyes is not even that tasty, but very well, I'll bite. Do you have the slightest inkling about what Sansaric's capable of? A veritable water of memories flood my mind, showing me the atrocities committed by the Setites in just the past 2 years. Callie doesn't seem to know much about Sansaric, but she definitely doesn't like the look on my face. Go on, enlighten me. To put it bluntly, only in the most desperate situation would anyone with an ounce of sanity consider seeking out Elie Sansaric. Perfectly, given my circumstances. I can go find him now, have a little chat, and be back in no time. I sigh inward. That child still thinks she's capable of tricking me. Fool me once, Callie. We could go fight him, but it's far from the best course of action at the moment. Sansaric is known to be extremely dangerous and territorial. We should not take him lightly. I propose we go to the Anarchs first. At least there, we will not be in danger of losing our heads. You're being so dramatic. We're gonna be fine. What's the worst that can happen? I stare at her incredulously. Death, torture, or carnage. We could accidentally cause an all-out children war, for example. We could split the party, you know. Again, we most certainly could not. See, I think not only does she not listen to reason, but she also has the attention span of a hamster. She waves at me defensively as she rummages through her belt bag. Whoops, sorry, I think I reached my limit here. How about we just flip a coin? Heads, we go to Sansaric. Tails, we go to Harlem. Fool me twice. You mean the Bronx? She grimaces, aghast that I caught her twisting reality, and rolls her eyes. Fine, fine, call it already. I'm about to open my mouth to demand what we toss one of my coins, as I'm sure she's about to use some of her chicanery on hers, but my voice erupts into a deafening cacophony. Yes, 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 she'll win, lad, she'll win. I grab my ring and twist it desperately, chasing away the din. Choose, boy. We're gonna see Sansaric. Yes, yes, Sansaric will find. 20. Finally, blessed silence. So if I choose, she will win. I look at her and nod. All right, but you call it. She shrugs, grinning at me with delight. Suit yourself, buddy. It's your funeral. Heads! She tosses the coin, and it glimmers in the warm light of the floor lamp, soaring through the air as it spins quicker than the wheel of fate. It lands on her outstretched hand, and she flips it into her palm, showing it to me without even a glance, so sure that she has won. I look up at it and feel a satisfied smile split my face in two. Tails, fancy that! Seems we're going to the Bronx after all. What? The utter shock on her face is truly delightful. I don't think I've ever seen somebody's eyes bulge out of their skull so intensely. She stays silent for a while, just staring at the coin in her hand in disbelief. Then she raises her head and shoots me an accusatory look. Best 2 out of 3? And I just smile. Ignore her taunter or refuse. Sore loser, what a surprise! Now come, we can take my car. I get up from the armchair and start pulling on my coat. She follows suit, cursing under her breath all the while. Who would have thought all I needed to gain her obedience was to crush her at a simple game of chance? Yeah, your car. Wait, you mean that black rattle trap out front? How dare she? It's a perfectly serviceable vehicle whose minuscule size allows for... What a dismissive wave. She cuts short my eloquent defense for my car. Oh, you know what? How about we must just go and you can enjoy your minuscule vehicle in silence? I never say no to an offer of peace and quiet. A is for anarchy. We're headed to the Anarchs, where my friend and informant Mato will hopefully have some insight into the whereabouts of Cali's sire. As it turns out, silence is not what happens when Cali gets into a car. She managed maybe half a minute of quietly looking around before curiosity latches onto the selection of cassette tapes I have collected over the years. Another Bohemian Rhapsody? Seriously? I exaggerate the furrows of my brow, putting on a puzzled expression. Huh? Huh. I thought I only had one of them. Terrific. She burst into laughter. God forbid you get with the times, but how about a legit car radio? You know, to update your playlist? Says the one sporting a Walkman on her belt. She shrugs, seemingly offended. Is she trying to hide it? I'm fine. Shame or it's a matter of choice. I like choosing when I listen to in the car. Even when sometimes it happens to be Queen. Just saying, you're missing out a whole lot if you ignore stuff from the 21st century. The music seems been booming. I've heard of K-pop. You're giving off some serious Sasang energy, my guy. Sasang? I hadn't even heard about this band, but I'm willing to try it. Do you think any of them had released cassette tapes? Aside from our contrasting views of modernity, our little journey proceeds smoothly, which is perfect for me, but some kind of personal hell for Callie. She twitches in her seat, picking at her nails and bouncing her foot. I'm just waiting for her to finally burst. Holy shit, watch out! There it is, a disappointing attempt at diverting my attention towards nothing. The streets are as quiet as they come. We're gonna crash! And... Seriously, are you a robot or what? No, just seasoned. And in the right mind. But she does have me intrigued. What's going on? You fancy yourself an actress or give her a friendly advice? Did that little outburst of yours have a reason, or are you practicing your lines for a play? Just the traffic driving's me nuts. Though I'd stir up a little chaos. A little bit of anarchy. Of course. Is that your subtle way of inquiring about a seemingly touchy subject? You tell me. Then brace yourself for disappointment. My run-ins with the Anarchs aren't nearly as thrilling as you might hope. I pause briefly to collect my thought and start from the beginning. I landed in New York about 2 years ago. Shortly after, I managed to save a handful of kindred, mostly of the Anarch variety, although I do believe there was some Camarilla in the mix. It earned me that I would call tentative trust from Torque, and not much else, as you might have assessed back in Elysium. Wow, how noble! So how did you go from kindred hero to Camarilla gopher? I have to stop for a moment and consider the trajectory of my own life, especially since this kind of professional transition has happened to me more than once. I have a knack for playing peacemaker, apparently, and while Torque considers it an asset, the Camarilla thinks it's a chink in his armor. Compromise isn't really in their vocabulary, you know. She snorts inelegantly. Oh, I definitely do know. But if you save some Camarilla kindred as well, why not start with them and curry some favor? They're the fat cats of New York, right? I level with an amused look. It's because of who I am, it's because they will kill me, or it just made no sense. There was no favor to be curried. Not by a caitiff, anyway. She goes quiet for a long while, squirming uncomfortably in her seat, while an unwanted sprat flung back out to sea. Then she abruptly changes the subject. So we have the Camarilla and the Anarchs. That's pretty much standard fare. Anybody else to keep an eye out for? My dead hearts keep a figurative beat. There is someone, in fact, whom I really do not wish to mention. No. She eyes me suspiciously, but my face is unscrutably blank. Right. How about cool stories about the Anarchs? You seem to gel with them the most. Silence, lad, silence. Tell her nothing. Shut your gob! My hands automatically come together, and my fingers start fiddling with the ring. Ruin, carnage, calamity. Guard your secrets well, boy. Come on, I'm dying of boredom here. You must have some wild tales to tell. Something not found in your pile of books. She'll see through you. The parasite, the husk, the endbringer. The friend, the confidant. One more spin, 20 on the die. My head falls quiet and my hands relax on the steering wheel. My own life is not very exciting. I live vicariously through others. Fiction is a poor imitation of life. Indeed, the stories I've heard when talking to people rival those found in books. The kindred are a veritable treasure trove of tall tales. Fancy alliterations you've got going on there. So what kind of kindred are we talking about? Ten Bloods, for the most part. I was particularly interested in one called Sana, but mentioning her tends to shut conversation down, probably because she met her final death 4 years back, at the hand of the sheriff no less. Kadir? Wow, she must have really stirred the pot. Well, she did go on a mortal killing spree, but I am not one to judge whether or not the punishment fits the crime. Well, I know a thing or two about walking the line between right and wrong, so I don't think I'm in any place to judge her either. Still, what pushed her to do it? Callie seems to be a bit of an airhead, so even she knows about Sana and my research, it's unlikely she'll discover anything about my identity, or worse, my suspicions about the one true voice in my head, right? Right? She claims she was acting under orders from Kane, urging her to kill. He allegedly told Sana the end of the world is nigh, and somehow that devolved into a killing spree. Okay, so the thing with the ghoul is it probably like another messenger of Cain? He's gonna come back! He's gonna kill everyone! He's gonna drink the blood of all his children! Like a reverse, no, like Saturn is eating his old children. And she never questioned why the creator of our whole species would specifically choose her. Just straight up went on a rampage. Well, maybe the voice was really convincing, Callie. Maybe she went through all the other possible answers and none of them fit, Callie. Or maybe she was just simply truly insane, Callie. I don't say that out loud, of course, but I really want to. Look, I'm just telling you what I've heard. I never met Sana myself. I just found her condition fascinating. She waves her hands defensively. Hey, no need to get worked up. I glanced at your research note. I know you're really into the inner voices stuff. I'm not judging. It's just... I don't want to know where this is going. Unfortunately, it's up to her. Stop, please. Let's play the silent game. We can end this conversation anytime you want. Really. It's just that you have some really niche hobbies, you know? May I interest you in, I don't know, crocheting or something? It's a lot less intense than chasing crazies. My loud, long-suffering sigh successfully ends our conversation, but there is a gallingly satisfying grin on her face. I pull up to Mato's shop, much to Kali's bewilderment. Are you sure this is the spot? I can ask for direction or something. I ignore her and focus on parking, slowly and carefully aligning my car with the curb. Last time I left it here, somebody tore off one of the side mirror, so some precaution are definitely in order. Finally satisfied, I turn the engine off. Let's go. And I get out of the car. It takes her a while to follow suit. Did she expect some kind of ceremony? But she catches up as I set foot into the shop. Mato, are you here? A huge, burly kindred steps out from the shadows, quieter than a mouse. His grime-covered arms are all set to give me a bear hug, but I manage to stop him with a warning look. Paddy! Looking good, my man! What can I do for you? Need me to take a look at that old clunker of yours? My car is perfectly serviceable. Hopefully I misheard. What's wrong with you, all of you? I will pretend you didn't just say that, Mato. And even if it did need your expertise, I choose a less busy night. Still, I hope you would have a few moments for a few questions. They won't take long. Mato erupts into laughter, patting me on the shoulder. Thankfully, I'm not now well acquainted with his habits and managed to brace myself this time, so Mato's gigantic hand doesn't throw me off balance. Not this time, at least. Anything for you, my man! And speaking of, who's this you brought? Mato's gaze cut right through Callie, his hawkish eyes surprisingly cool and sharp despite his rugged exterior. She seems so tense that she's sizing her up expertly and tries to puff up a bit to no avail. Mato, meet Callie. She's gotten into a situation with the ivory tower. You see? Well, to put it short, her execution is on hold provided she delivers the council her sire's head on a silver platter. He lets out a whistle. Damn, what's your sire the cures for? That's kind of what we're trying to piece together. Ever come across a lick who goes by Renner Castle? Renner, no, can't say, rings a bell. What's his deal? Blood trade, among other things. On purpose, I say the words quietly, sharply, with no hesitation. I learned that with Mato there's no use in beating around the bush, and that the topic of blood trade is an extremely touchy subject for him, given his Tremere heritage. Best to rip that bandages off as quickly as possible. Mato remains silent and motionless for a moment, while the tension is in the air builds like a wall. I left that shit behind, man, you know that. You can't escape it, I understand, but I know it hurts. I know, believe me, we're not here to dredge up the past, we just need a direction. Nothing more, nothing less. Surely there is someone who's still in the loop, someone who might have heard some rumors. He's avoiding my eyes, fiddling with a rag. Damn it, I might have to push even further. I get it, it's a difficult situation for you, but I was really hoping you could help me out here. You know I would not hesitate to reciprocate, as I have in the past. Yeah, I know. He seems more resigned than irritated, but still refuses to speak. Eyes downcast, body language, borderline deer in the headlights. His obstinacy is frankly extremely vexing. I'm about to double down on the guilt tripping, but then I shoot Callie a quick look. She smiles and steps forward. You see, I've only known Paddy here for what, a single night? Turns out that's more than enough to figure he's pretty good at killing the vibe when he puts his mind to it. Paddy? To think I let her into my haven last night. Ungrateful brat. And that traitor, Mato, laughing at my expense? She's trying to manipulate him. I get it, but it doesn't mean I'm any less irritated. Look, I don't know the first thing about you. The whole blood trade drama or whatever, that's none of my business. I'm not about to dig in your dirt. Survival is the game we're all playing, right? It's interesting the way she speaks. Almost as if somebody put those words in her mouth. So, I'll back off. Plus, I'm in a spot where I really cannot afford to have anyone else in this town be pissed off at me. Yeah, I gotcha. It's just that... No need to spell it out for me. Gnarly pasts are sort of my thing, you know. Let's just drop the whole shebang, eh? He nods hesitantly while she smiles and takes a few steps towards a motorcycle in the back. I gotta say though, you've got quite the setup here. Wait, is that a ZX-10R? What? Alright. I picked it up super cheap from some diva over in Long Island a few weeks ago. The guy had a nasty crash, pretty much wrecked it, but he had no clue about the gem he was letting go of. I will not lie. The moment they start chittering excitedly, my ears fully shut off and my mind goes blank. I never been interested in motorcycles, not even when they let me ride one back in the army. But it does seem Callie and Mato are bonding over that mechanical monstrosity. Perhaps she can use that to her advantage. I come to when they near the end of their conversation. Well, I'm always on the hunt for a good find. I can't guarantee this model, but if I come across another butte like this, I could hold on to it for you if you're interested. You know what? I might take up on that offer. Just gotta deal with this Camarilla situation first. Ah, yes, a clever segue back to the root of our problem. She has softened Mato up, but it seems I am the one to deliver the coup de grace. Give him the cold shoulder, mention other contacts, or act out disappointment. Like, he pretended to lead us to nowhere, so... Okay, I'm gonna mention other contacts. We should go, Callie, and find actual answers elsewhere. I might have another contact with some intel, but we need to make an appointment post-haste. Is that what he said last time? Sorry to bother you, Mato, and thank you for your time. Wince a little, and Mato looks at me with profound sadness in his eyes. Quickly turn away. I'm not immune to the face of a scolded puppy. See you around, I hope. And if not, Paddy here will give you my regards. Not her with Paddy again. But for what is worth, our improvisation seems to have worked. We take only a few steps towards the exit when Mato curses under his breath and speaks up. Hold up! I shoot Callie a meaningful look, but it vanished by the time we both turned back to the friendly giant. Mato's gnawing at his bottom lip and twisting the rag between his fingers. Yes? I really am out of that business, Paddy. I know, Pádraic. I know, Mato. Sorry. Still, some whispers find their ways to my ears. Nobody likes gossip more like a buzzed-up kindred. Ain't that the truth? Usually comes in really handy too. So, there's this thin blood alchemist. Skylar is her name, I think. Hangs around at Sunny's a lot. Sunny's? Interesting. Empire of the Sun. It's a local anarch dive. Yeah, exactly. Sunny's. If anything knows anything about the blood trade, it's her. She's the only albino around too, so you won't mistake her for none. Thank you. I appreciate your help, or I owe you. Thank you, Mato. I will surely repay this favor. Call upon me at any time you wish. I owe you big time. Who knows? You might have saved my skin here. He gets a little flustered, waving his enormous hands around. Don't mention it. Still, we should get going. Take care. Not so fast, runt. And there I thought the stench of rot and sulfur would have alerted me to her presence. Miss Sorrento, what a pleasure. She glares at me absolutely livid, and I fight to keep my wits about me. Such a despicable woman. Torque needs you. Now. Does he now? Why? I came here to tell you, not to debate, you caitiff. Figure it out on your own. I can feel my teeth crack as I gnash them in a desperate attempt to keep my cool. Maim her! Strangle her! I spin my ring until it lands on 20 and take back my mind. Fine. Let's get going. Let's get moving, Kelly. I don't think you heard me right. Torque summoned you. Your Ravnos pup is not invited. She turns on her heel and walks off into the night before I can even roll my eyes. The cluttered car shop suddenly feels a touch more welcoming, as if starlight broke through after a storm. Mato gives another one of those awkward shoulder pats, but I will admit, it does have a relaxing effect on me. I find myself still clutching the ring, so I lower my hands before they attract too much attention. I mean, don't get me wrong, the company I'll usually keep is far from nice, but damn if she's not the bitchest of them all. Yeah, kinda. Her name is Mia, Torque's enforcer, sort of big fish around here. I mutter angrily under my breath. Unfortunately, not the biggest, or for now. She's not the biggest, because of course there's always a Torque. Bigger than Torque sometimes. Ah, that's what they said. Easy, Paddy. You wouldn't want her catching wind of that. I clear my throat in a uselessly mortal manner. It seems I was right about Callie's company bringing out that part of me. Right. I believe that is your cue to go. Thanks again, Mato. Don't mention it. You're welcome back anytime, both of you. You got it. Later. Can barely see Callie from my surroundings through the red mist of fury. The voices in my head aren't even awake, but I still furiously spin my ring in the fruitless pursuit of peace of mind. And then, Callie decides to speak up. Not gonna lie, I don't think I ever met a kindred as charming and likable as Mato. What's his deal? Where is he hiding the bodies? From what I gather, his skeletons are buried deep in his past. Mato used to be quite the skilled thaumaturge once, delving into the darker arts, albeit reluctantly. His sire can be quite intense. Aren't they all? I forgot she can relate to that. I wouldn't know. I don't have a sire. Never occurred to me. Yes, perhaps. To my surprise, this mindless conversation let me relax and forget about Mia Sorrento bossing me around. I straighten up a little and put my hands into the pockets of my coat, inhaling deeply as we walk. So, what's the plan now? I have to go see Torque. Yeah, I gather, but Scary Enforcer Lady made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. You just have to wait in the car then. Look, as much as I consider your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I just can't sit around doing nothing. We'll find you a babysitter. How about needlework? You'll figure something out. Yeah. Maybe I could get a hold of crochet kit for you. You could use a new hobby. Besides, it should not take that long. Oh, I got hobbies, just so you know. Besides, you and your endless debates, I'll be old and gray before you come back, and that's not even an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Torque, and I'll head over to Sunny to look for that Skylar girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on! I've been the very model of temperance tonight. We only been awake for mere hours. Splitting hairs. I'm waiting for Sunny to wait for you there. Scouts honor. Stick together. Together. You must. You have to. Together. Together. I sigh and rub tiredly at my eyes. The night has just started, but I'm already longing for slumber. If we only had some means of long distance communication at hand, can you imagine what we could do if we were able to hear our voices from miles apart? Alas, reality is much more cruel, at least under Camarillo rules. We could always try using pigeons. New York's got no shortage of them. Oh, so you're a comedian now. Hilarious. My mouth twitches, wanting to smile, but I manage to suppress it. Look, it seems we are out of options here. You'll have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Torque wants from me and
Don't let her out of your sight. She will bring naught but doom.
Engrossed in battle for mental control, I barely notice Scally's hands waving in front of my face. I keep spinning my ring as if my own life depended on it. Because it probably does.
Let her go, Fionn!
A 20! Finally. I breathe a sigh of relief and look at Callie seriously. Alright. Let's meet Empire of the Sun in an hour. She gawks at me, jaw on the ground. Hold up, for real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour. Do not let me down. And before she even has a chance to say anything remotely silly, I turn on my heels, hop into my car, and drive off into the night. Cruising through the streets of New York City, I let my mind wander to Sorrento's message and the urgency with which she delivered it. This is an interesting angle. Like, we can see him in the car alone. I can't be sure if this matter is as important as she made it seem. Sometimes Torque summons me when he's generally concerned about the well-being of the Anarchs. Sometimes it's to obtain about the Council being particularly vexing that night. Sometimes it's just to remind me where exactly I stand in the local food chain. Normally I don't mind. The benefits I reap from having Torque's protection far outweighs all the indignities that awaits me night after night.
He's useless, thankless, what a dumb fuck!
But I am somewhat occupied at present, so Torque had better have a damn good reason for summoning me like a djinn from my lamp. Spinfluence! Interruption vexed me to no end when I'm in the thick of things. How can I keep a vigilant eye on Callie when there's always another thing demanding my attention? This time it's Torque call that I must answer. On the east side of the Bronx, in Harlem. This isn't the first time I've been invited to see Torque at his brewery. Seems like a rather casual place, hipster even, as I've heard some of the younger anarch call it, but appearances can most subtly be deceiving. Yeah, it's a new angle from the bar, but it looks more damp, poorly lit, and dim. The decoration is in tatters. They've seen better days and they never even bothered to redecorate. I've taken a part in casual, borderline friendly meetings here, but most of them, in fact, were about waging war or avoiding it. Tonight, something seems off about the place. Mia is prominently absent. How devastating. But the security around Torque has definitely been heightened. Is he expecting some kind of attack? I mean, beyond the baseline threats, of course. Then I walk in. When I walk in, he's leaning on a snooker cue, staring silently out the window. I know he's aware of my arrival, although he neither turns around nor speaks. It seems that it falls to me to expedite this meeting. The powers that be never understand the value of time. You wanted to see me? Here I am. So you can show up on the dot if you want to. Huh! No trouble recalling your path this time, huh? I refuse to take that bait. None. I do need to hurry back, though. I can sense the raven's eagerness to fly away, especially with nobody to keep an eye on her. Torx finally turns around to face me, eyebrows raised in confusion. Why didn't you bring her along, then? Bollocks. I should have known it was just Sorrento making on life difficult for me. I can't exactly say that out loud, of course, so I just shrug helplessly, but before I can fabricate some rationale, Torque has already moved on to another topic. How's the investigation going? Any luck with spooking Castle out from whatever foxhole he crawled into? Not yet, but we have a few leads. He tilts his head in consideration. Do you believe that the girl is complicit in Castle's dirty work? She's got a real talent for trickery, that one. I believe she's innocent. She might be in for a long con. It doesn't matter either way. Well, I have known her for a grand total of one night, so this opinion may be unfounded, but she's either an innocent and unwitting cover for Castle, or she's one of the best actresses I've seen in a long time, and I know she can act, but it's hard to believe she can be that good. I see. Well, I would say that we should hope she is for her own sake, but we all know guilt and innocence hardly matter in the Council's eyes. Warping reality to support their claims is far more important to them. I just nod, silently. I have nothing to add. Is that why you wanted me here? Discuss the Raven? Don't be ridiculous. Here. He tosses me a snooker cue. You can keep track of scores when I deliver you rebuke. Ah, here we go again. Yeah, this is about what happened yesterday. Your tardiness yesterday was a really bad move, Pádraic. I understand fashionably late, but that was a straight-up display of weakness. And you know how I feel about displaying weakness in front of the Council. He takes a few skillful shots before missing one of the balls by a hair. Clearly a seasoned player. But so am I. Avoiding surveillances isn't a weakness, it's a matter of safety. It's a matter of respect, or rather the lack of it, when you show up so late while sheltered by my shadow. Despite the value of your insight to both the Camarilla and the Anarchs, and to me most of all, your recent behavior reflects poorly on our relationship. What he says makes enough sense to throw me off my game. I bungle a shot miserably and step away from the table. I apologize, but may I speak frankly? You may. Consider my late arrival a show of weakness, but this caution of yours, oversensitive or not, that is not for me to decide. It's the kind of behavior that makes you appear weak. I've heard some whispers among the Anarchs that maybe they don't need a Baron after all. Torque laughs bitterly and hits the ball with so much strength that required. He almost jumps off the table entirely. They think I'm weak because I'm not trying to show off in front of the Council, to make us feel superior to the Ivory Tower. I'm not weak. I'm pragmatic. This song and dance is about appearing confident and stalwart enough for the Camarilla to actually shut up and listen for once. There you go. Hello, Zima. How you doing? How you doing? So yeah, we're playing Pádraic's story. So basically, we're reliving the 7 days, but from his point of view. And yeah, he's been on board the Veritra's ship from the beginning. So she's working with her, but all her allies are not aware. So now they're having a meeting. This is the day. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. So this is on the night 2. Remember when we got the message from Mia when we were leaving Mato's repair shop that Torque wanted us to see us back when she was while she was dealing with Skylar the alchemist. So this is the meeting right now. So basically we're being scolded for arriving late during the Elysium meeting. We were late because we were on Veritra's ship. I'm doing great, doing great. Happy hump day to you too. I'm doing great, doing great. Very energetic. And I love the new development from retelling the story from another POV. So now they're playing snooker in Harlem, in Torque's bar, sorry. And we witnessed a scene from 6 months ago when Veritras used vicissitude on one of our old folks to look like Payne's servant. You were sleeping, you just woke up? Okay. So you haven't checked your Discord messages yet, that's fine. I see. Okay, I'm gonna check your, yeah, you check your Discord message. Alright. I can't wait for you to get a time to show all the files you have for me. Alright. You just woke up watching you with coffee. Perfect. So yeah, with the lo-fi, it makes for a nice chill session. Listening to an interesting story. A nice vampire story. Maintaining good relations with them has thus far only benefited the Anarchs. I hate like thinking I'm trying to ingratiate myself with them. Believe me, I do. But it works.
He's so right. Never fails. Baron of Barons.
This time, one spin of the ring is enough to silence the worries. But their message is troubling. Let him win or crush him. So, what should I do here? Zima? Do I let him win or should I crush him in snooker? Much love, yes. Thank you for all the hearts. Alright, I get it. I'm allow you that spamming of hearts. That's okay. It's okay. So, all right. What should I do? Should I let him win or should I crush him? Or is it too much if you don't have enough coffee to make a decision? You know what? I'm gonna crush him. Sorry, I positioned myself perfectly and take a few precise shots. Hearing myself a nice handful of points. Torque's face falls. And how do you believe another Anarchs view this perspective of yours? Torque stands up straight, looking at me with his sharp and serious eyes, and lays down the snooker cue flat on the table. It seems our little game is over. Already? That's precisely what I want to discuss tonight. I nod, but hesitate. Is this about Mia? Torque's silence is all the confirmation I need. A moment passes before he speaks again. Yeah, see, basically, it was never Torque's recommendation of us meeting alone. Like, he didn't mind us inviting, bringing the Ramnos over. It's just Mia putting her grain of salt, messing up with our day and stuff like that. Because basically Mia is his right-hand woman. But sometimes she pretends like she's a bigger fish than the Baron, you know? So, she exerts herself more. Torque's silence is all the confirmation I need. I've been considering removing her from the equation. Oh. It's not exactly surprising, but more audacious than I expected. You know there is no love lost between me and Mior Sorrento, but I would be careful about messing with her. She embodies the Anarch ideals and owes more sway than you among the lower ranks in the Bronx, and they are not few in number. So that's why she's getting the popularity vote among the Anarchs, and he sees that as a threat. I'm not blind, Pádraic. I'm just trying to look outside the box that currently confines me. For a few seconds, he looks his real age, an old man, squashed beneath the heavy burden of responsibility he tries to balance on his shoulders. But this moment passes as quickly as it came, and then he's back to his 30-something self. From where I stand, everything you do is for the benefit of the Anarchs, but they might not see it that way. I believe that removing Mia might incite an unnecessary revolt, and it's the last thing we need in these perilous times. Torx inclined his head in contemplation, humming quietly to himself while looking me straight in the eye. The lack of response paired with what intense gaze makes me decisively uncomfortable. Can only assume he's waiting for me to continue. You already know my thoughts on this, but I still think that if she wanted to overthrow you, she would act on the idea immediately. She isn't much of a schemer, but rather an impulsive doer, impossible to predict. Which unfortunately means that your static position on this unenviable chessboard makes victory highly unlikely. She knows all your available moves, while you know nothing about hers. For what is worth, I do not sense a revolt coming just yet. Perhaps she hasn't quite given up on you, or perhaps... Silence fall while Torx consider my words. You've given me a lot to think about, Pádraic. You may leave now.
His end is nigh.
So this is the voices in my head. So this is the voice I cannot shut up. There's going to be more voices, but it's going to be on the pink button that says continue. Those are the voices I repressed with the ring die. And the higher I get on the ring die, the more efficient they're shut up. But that voice, I have no idea where it comes from. I have no control about that voice. And this is the voice we're trying to research. Like, who's this voice belong to? Because usually the other voices is from, you know, from the web. You know, the hive mind of the Malkavians. He turns away, facing the window with a certain finality. I nod and quietly slinks out of the room, wondering how his future would unfold. To any observer, my drive to empower the sun is silent. So yeah, this is the one.
The barons of barons shall never fall. Yes, yes, yes.
But on the inside, my voices refuse to calm down.
What would he never do without you, the baron to end all barons?
Finally at 20, the voices are cut off as their throats were sliced. Continue. Judging from what they tell me, Torxan's approach appears to be fast approaching. I would never feel comfortable telling him, in case he reacted poorly. Perhaps I should have been firmer in warning him about Sorrento's ambitions. I look at the clock on the dashboard. Bollocks. I'm late to meeting far too often these nights. Let's just hope Callie remains true to her word this one time and waits for me at Sunny's. So yeah, we don't have any hunger difficulty or any hunter difficulty since we're calm, collected, and we avoid trouble. And also, the voices it tells us when there's trouble. So we're using the power of aspects to see, to kind of anticipate where the trouble is and move elsewhere, you know. When I cut the last corner before Empire of the Sun, I'm already unconscionably late. I was about to say unconsciously, but unconscionably. I never use that word, unconscionably. Unconscionably late. It'll be a miracle if Callie is still there, waiting for me as promised. But I park and catapult out the car towards the door. I see that she is indeed waiting for me, with the Anarch girl Mado mentioned no less, or at least she hasn't wandered off yet. Perhaps I should reevaluate my opinion on Christmas miracles. All I can do is nod curtly to hide my discomposure. You're here. That's good. Duh! Told you I'll be here. Calling me surprised, that's a welcome novelty, or is this another trick? How can I be sure it's really you? Yesterday you showed me quite a bag of tricks, as I recall. Hey, I never gave my word I would stick around last time, did I? I rolled my eyes, exasperated. A little over an hour apart, and I already managed to forget how annoying she can be. The Anarch girl is eyeing me suspiciously, so I return her gaze. Oh, Paddy meet Scalar, a local Anarch with a knack for alchemy. Scalar meet Paddy. I regret letting her meet Mado. Yeah, she's calling me Patty. It's Pádraic, actually. Pleased to meet you, Skylar. Skylar nods. I can see the apparition in her eyes, and I can't help wondering what had made her so wary of others. Or perhaps it is me who gives her pause. Don't stretch too much. Pádraic might be a bit uptight, but he's alright. He's just here to offer us a lift, that's all. Oh, is there a point in arguing, or I'll play along? Yes, I am. Her driver. She chuckles and pats me cordially on the shoulder. Emotions aren't his strong suit. He's just my friend, who only happens to have a car. The Anak girl is clearly unamused by Callie's antics. This is Skylar. The more I look at her, yeah, you know, she says she's an albino, but I didn't click. That info didn't connect at first because it looks like she had tie-dye, she had tied dreadlocks, you know. But usually albinos have also white eyebrows, white eyelashes, and red eyes. And she has none of that. She probably has red eyes, but those are eyes of the kindred. They have that specific glow in them. Something that says that it's far, not from this world, you know. What's the voice I gave her? I didn't give her a voice, right? We need to get moving. The meeting place ain't far, but, well, night couriers aren't known for their patience. Let's hustle. We are meeting a night courier? I assumed the Skylar would tell us all we need to know, but a night courier might even be a better source. I wonder, however. Whose is this particular courier, exactly? Yes, do tell. Dunno. Only know her by her handle, and she always wears a helmet, so... a bicycle helmet. As long as she's clued to Reynard's location, seems like my gal too. Maybe I should start wearing something on my face like a school mask? A cool mask. I fail to see how a mask, cool or otherwise, will help her in lightly on life. A gag would be more fitting. Now that would help me. Careful, or I'll gag you instead. She said it lightly, but I can tell by the dangerous twinkle in her eyes that she's not joking. It seems she and Skylar are not exactly bosom buddies. Skylar gets into the car without another word, while Callie nods to herself, clearly satisfied, and turns to me with a smile. Anyway, you done with the torque thing? Yes. She finds my laconic answer suspicious, even though this time I generally have nothing uninteresting to hide. I just look at her unfazed until she loses interest. Divert, tease, or inquire. It seems your meeting with Skylar went rather well. But she just smiles at me mischievously and flings the passenger door open, while I inevitably let out a sigh. I nearly need to work on those mortal habits. It's unbecoming of a kindred my age. Voices of the angel! They see poison! Poison into your ears! Heed not, ho! Heed not their honeyed words!
Liar! Liar! Kill him! End him! Finish him!
I feel my whole body freeze, seize up, inch by inch, molecule by molecule, paralyzed so thoroughly that I can't even blink. The peculiar man who was lurking in the background, who approached me so quietly I noticed nothing, falls to his knees before me and catches the hem of my trousers.
False prophet! Blasphemous runt! Kill! Kill! Kill!
Some of the keywords that this ghoul says are the same as some of my voices. So they're like, what's going on? But that's not why I cannot move, of course. It's his insane, unhinged, familiar words that struck me like lightning and ruled me to the spot.
Paddy Waddy kills the runt, kills the runt, kills the runt.
Yeah, when he mentioned the Daystar, I just stare at him, his beast thrown back, his mist-over eyes boring blandly into the night sky. He stops screaming, but his lips quiver with faint whisper that fades into the air like smoke.
Kill! 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 Kill!
Dream not in your slumber, for the Daystar will sear its truth unto your whole being. What are you waiting for, you dumb cunt? I want to shake him until all the answers fall out of his pockets. Who are you? What do you know? But I can't. The only thing still vaguely under my command is my hand, twitching, turning, crawling, until my fingers close around the cheap plastic of my ring and spin, and spin, and spin. Ever so blind, ever so lost, ever so useless. But I am here! I am here! Ah, fuck, his voice is All Might. Shit, he's possessed by All Might. Pádraic, you okay there, buddy? I need a 20. I need a 20. Let me roll. I can barely hear Callie's voice as she extracts me from the van's vice-like grip, as if it's as if my whole head is underwater. Patience, Fionn! Time has yet to come! Pádraic, talk to me. What's going on? Fionn is a reference to the legend of Fionn and the salmon of knowledge. There's a whole story like he ate a salmon and some shit happened. So that's why that voice called him Fionn. I have no idea how the story goes, how the legend goes. Like, usually Vampire the Masquerade is full of niche reference like that. Some you will get, some you will not. Within her lies aid! She is the key! 20. Finally break the surface. My body is my own once more. I can stop my hand from clutching the ring and hide them in my pocket. I can avoid Kylie's eyes, full of confusion and worry. I can speak. I'm fine. You sure? What was that all about? I said I'm fine. The man who grabbed me is nigh catatonic. There's no chance I'll extract anything useful from him. Besides, he's most probably just an unwitting conduit, much like myself. Not worth wasting my time on. I do not know. Let's not fret about it for now. The night courier's waiting. Night courier. Let us hope the intel this night courier gives us about Callie Sard is worth the trouble of setting up a meeting. Our car ride is silent. Skylar doesn't seem all that fond of conversation, and Callie, for whatever reason, has made the decision to not talk my ear off. To be perfectly candid, worries me a little. I can see out of the corner of my eye that she's nearly unraveled the fraying edge of her sleeve with her nervous fidgeting, but she doesn't seem to notice. I consider asking if she's alright, but decide against it in the end. She usually has no issue chatting about anything that comes off to her mind. So I should just enjoy this brief tranquility. Enjoy the silence. Come on, be like Depeche Mode. Pretty sure you know Depeche Mode, Pádraic. You look like the guy who would enjoy Depeche Mode. It's just that she seems anxious. And that makes me worry about whatever awaits us on the other side of this ride. As we pull up the meeting spot, the night courier stands out immediately, mostly because she's the only one around. Clad in dark leathers and sporting a helmet, she almost disappeared into the night alongside her bike. We barely come to a halt before Skylar jumps out of the car and approaches the courier in a few strides. She seems eager to talk, and even more eager to bolt, so I keep my eye on her, ready to give chase. I assume that Callie's doing the very same thing, but mentioning it shouldn't hurt. She looks like she might make a run for it. Oh, come on, of course she does. Or am I the only one flagged as a flight risk in your book? Try not to smile at her mock outrage. It's your own fault. You're the flight risk. A book? Please. No, but you are on the very first page. The moment Skylar pivots and heads our way, we cut the chatter and step out of the car. 5 minutes, that's all I could get for you. Spend it well. She reaches a hand out towards Callie, who slaps it gleefully. Skylar rolls her eyes theatrically. The key? You know, to your stash? I held up my end of the bargain. Yeah, got it right here. Callie tosses the key, which Skylar easily snags out of the air. I quelled the urge to ask what the key opens, whatever the answer, it is of no consequence anyway. Pleasure! With that, she's off into the night. As she disappears, we casually approach the night courier. A little too casually for my taste. I'm impatient after that bizarre encounter in front of the Empire of the Sun, eager to end this nonsensical quest and get back to my research. So, naturally, I open my mouth to speak, glad that Callie takes the cue. Shut the hell up, pretty boy! My mouth just stacked. My teeth grinds involuntarily. What an ill-mannered termagant. Termagant? Callie, the fuck did you get yourself into this time? She takes off her helmet and scowls at Callie like an angry wife. Jess? Holy shit, is that actually you? Of course they know each other. Must have received the same diploma in SAS. Is this why you dragged my ass over here? To start in this shitty high school reunion? I suppose Jess was top of the class. Care to introduce me? The courier's eyes nearly pop out of her head. Oh, piss off! Is this really why I'm out here? What? No, hell no. It's, let's just go one step at a time. Christ! I seem to have lost the thread of this conversation. Pádraic, meet Jessica Wainwright. I know you like it formal. She was part of our crew before she grew up and vanished like a ghost a year back or so. Speaking of which, we thought you were gone. For good, I mean. Jessica seems a little thrown off balance by Callie's words. Oh, really? Well, that clears up the mystery of the silent phones. So we're playing it like that. I fucking warned you, you dick. Not like I can get text beyond the grave. FYI, I left you guys a fucking note. Witnessing arguments, especially one that have nothing to do with me, has been my job for the past 2 years, but they still make me so very uncomfortable. And Callie and Jessica are swapping lines so fast I can't even find a spot to cut in and diffuse the situation. The hell are you on about? Renner said. Ah, of course, Reynard fucking Castle, turning shit into gospel. Interesting. Obviously, there is no love lost between her and her former sire, but she paints a very different picture of him than Callie does. Why the hell are you poking around for him anyway? Why? Because it's a fucking Tuesday, that's why. And by that I mean he's off the grid and now I'm neck deep in shit because the Camarilla wants him found. Right, and who's this charmer? I shrug. I'm essentially the raft keeping her afloat in the cesspool she's plunged into. Callie jumps up a little, pouting at me with a wounded look in her eyes, while Jessica lets out a hearty laugh. So I'm surfing this wave of horseshit with you? Oh, you filthy, filthy lifeline. To that quip, I just smile. I can see when I've met my match. The sheriff didn't shadow me, so I swear he's useful sometimes. Maybe it's the pretty yet infinitely punchable face that does it. Right, and you just went along with all this creeping around because why exactly? Alright, pop quiz. Option A, I'm in the mood for some company. Option B, I do it or I get my head lopped off by the sheriff. Take a wild guess which one I picked. Jessica's clearly not amused. Callie seems to sense that that's what's putting down isn't getting picked up because she lowered her voice as if letting Jessica in on a deep dark secret. Truth be told, there's gonna be something bigger at play with this whole mess. You can hear me? I just can't figure out what the hell they want with Rannard and why now of all times. Jessica shrugs and crosses her arm over her chest, looking like she couldn't care less. Water's wet, sky is blue, and piss stinks. By which I mean underneath all that charm, Castle's been a two-faced, lying sack of shit from day one. No wonder the whole ivory tower is in on his tail. Callie seems stumped and somehow uncomfortable with the flicker of pity I notice in Jessica's eyes. The foundation of her own life, her perception of Raynor Castle, appears in danger of crumbling. We don't really have time for that. Formality never hurt anybody. Informality never hurt anybody either. Please just spill the beans. Heard through the grapevine, you might know where Castle is hiding. Alright, this is what they said. Jessica laughs at Callie, looked positively aghast for some reason. Oh, honey, Castle is even deeper shit than Callie is. See, I've been involved with the circulatory system on and off, passing messages and whatnot. She leans back even further onto her bike, cool, collected, and supremely confident. I cross my arms over my chest, mirroring her pose in an effort to look more disinterested. Word is, Castle shot right up to the top of their shit list just a couple nights back, based on some fresh intel they got from who knows where. Suddenly she leans forward on her elbows, looking at Callie seriously. This is Major League shit, Callie. Could be Uncle Sam level big. And it might not just be Castle in the crosshairs, but anyone tangled up with him. Keep the hell away. Yeah, except running away somehow vanished from my playbook. I will literally lose my head over it. Jessica shrugs and starts putting on her helmet on. It's your problem, not mine. I bet on that clusterfuck of a side for a reason, and unlike... Okay, now I switch from East European accent to a North UK one. Either Ireland or Scottish. It's your problem, not mine. I built on that clusterfuck of a siren for a reason, and life has been beautiful ever since. Good fucking luck, though. Pause for dramatic effect. And don't bother calling me again. Then she's gone, just like an engine roar fading into the night. Right back at you, bitch! Avoiding my gaze, Callie laughed awkwardly and gives some loose tones of frustrated chick. She's quite something. How are you holding up? Absolutely peachy. What's a little hate between siblings, am I right? Avoiding personal topics is becoming a classic refrain for her. So, the circulatory system, huh? What's your take? I decide to let that one slide. She already looks like she's one push away from toppling into the abyss. He's running short on time. He must have done something bold. Maybe there's a bigger picture here. They are truly dangerous, but it's not easy to get on their nerves. I have no idea what your sire might have done, but the fact that they're hell-bent on fighting him and managed to acquire some intel on him doesn't bode well for Reynard Castle. Great, and we're still no closer to find him than we were last night, or whenever. There is also the matter of whether the circulatory system intends to hunt you as well, by virtue of being Reynard's accomplice. Oh please, I'm hardly even a psychic! Just look at her, and she barks out of a laugh, rubbing her hands together impishly. Well, seeing as your Anarch lead didn't really pan out, guess we're hitting Sensoric next. This is bad. But maybe I'll manage to talk her out of what is clearly suicide. It is indeed our backup lead, but... Okay, our only lead. Fine. At the moment, it is our only lead, but I have my reservation about Sensoric. Let's unpack this back at my haven. Besides, dawn is nearly upon us. Start walking toward the car, then pause upon noticing Callie hasn't moved. She just tugs at her sleeve and smiles at me almost apologetically. Yeah, funny story, but I can't. Literally. Or really, for the love of... Yeah, very funny. Young lady, get in the car right in this instant. We need to get to my haven before dawn. Thing is, your haven isn't safe for me anymore. What are you? It's just a thing with my clan. If I crash in the same spot more than once a week, you might as well sweep me up at the sundown, like with a broom. For once, she actually seems genuine, sheepish. She, of course, expects me not to believe her.
Don't! She'll be gone. The ground guarded. Keep her close. Keep her.
Let her go, Fionn. Let her go. Perhaps I could loosen her leash an inch or two. She has been a good sport by her standard. Yeah, I get it. I'm not messing around. Oh, you do? I barely contain a smile. Let's rendezvous at my place tomorrow night. I got a private eye in mind who might have an idea where to find Sensoric. A PI? You're not talking about D'Angelo, are you? The world is small, it seems, or D'Angelo's circles are bigger than I thought. You know him? You have something against him? Or tease her a little? Alright, we're gonna tease her. Who else but the self-proclaimed best detective this side of the pond? You have to gotta be kidding! The leper is a good guy, but a dead end. Grilled him about Reynard and got zilch. Even implied it was somehow my fault Reynard's vanished off the face of the earth. Well, Castle is practically a ghost. Sansaric, on the other hand, is not exactly hiding. D'Angelo should know a thing or two about him. Fair. But he's a slippery little eel. He might need leverage to get him talking. This time, I allow myself a faint smile. Leave that to me. You'll talk. I turn around and climb behind the wheel of my car. Tomorrow dusk, my haven. Don't let me down. She gives me a playful salute, waving at me like a child dropped off at a school. Such a peculiar woman. As for Jessica, her intel is as valuable as it's troubling. The circulatory system and their hit list is no joking matter. My thoughts on Ritter Castle swirls and collide in a vortex of incomprehension until suddenly, the inkling of an idea emerges. You must have done something outrageous to attract the system's attention. And I might just know whom to ask all about it. Dangerous Liaison, Part 2, Main Quest. Encounters with Veritra are far from pleasant, but they are a trial I must endure. If I want to get the answers I have been eluding me for nearly a century. So we're back at the Hudson, west of Manhattan. Only once before have I trespassed onto this ship without an explicit invitation, and Veritra made it exceedingly clear that such a behavior was unacceptable. But times change, our dynamic has shifted, our relationship has grown since, especially now that I hold more value to her, mainly because of this unique voice of mine. Whether I'm slightly more valued than before is of little import when she still keeps me in the dark about whatever catalyst of knowledge she awaits, and why she will hold answers from me. Answers that she owes me. This time, when I make my way towards the ship's upper deck, I'm surprised to discover that Veritra is already there. Standing on the prow, she seems to be taking in the views, assessing the scale of her domain perhaps. I fully expect to be reprimanded for encroaching on her turf, but her voice is below frigid when she speaks, which means she's being as warm and inviting as possible. Pádraic, what an unexpected pleasure. What brings you to my domain? I look at her for a moment, candor and subtlety jostling for dominance in my mind. In the end, despite a complete lack of concrete evidence, I follow Kali's playbook and take a gamble. Shut up! Just shut up! Idiot! You dimwit! You fool! What is your involvement with Reynard Castle? I know he plays some kind of role in this spectacle of yours. Is the reason you keep withholding information about my voice? Tell me. Vitra's smirk belies more than a drop of venom. And where does that inquiry come from? Your intuition? A hunch, as fledglings say nowadays? The smirk grows wider, deeper, more acrid. Or as your voice suggested it? I would really prefer a straight answer instead of more questions. I've had my fill of them lately. Veritra hums playfully. Something in her throat makes that sound double, triple, quadruple until it pierces the air like a horn heralding the fall of an entire city. Rarely does one hear such an ominous sound and live to tell the tale. Being undead has its advantages from time to time. Reynard Castle is indeed one of the pawns on my chessboard. His task is delicate, but of crucial importance to all of my endeavors. Perhaps the most crucial. So, my suspicions were correct. Castle's involvement in her schemes is unexpected, yet considering the vast reach of her influence, she views any valuable asset as hers by right. There's a hint buried deep in that thought. Maybe I should take it. Should you, Fionn? It is, however, nothing to lose your sleep over, my dear boy. But I do have a very special task, just for you. I ball my fist in fury and helplessness and repeat the mantra in my head. As long as she has the answer I seek, I will suffer her treating me like a child. What can I do for you, Veritra? She smiles at me as swiftly as her morbidly beautiful face allows. Keep Winter Castle's child occupied. I understand that she has somewhat of an unfortunate attachment to him, but it would be best if she didn't locate him too soon. You need not interfere with her quests, but do not make it easier for her, and do keep an eye on her. Those of their clans have an unfortunate tendency to make things unpredictable when left unsupervised. I shall. I have done nothing if serves you well. I would say I've been more than considerate. She responds with silence, and what unnervingly calm, icy stare that could easily drive one of them to the brink of madness. It's a weapon she's honed to perfection. I thought I'd be used to it by now, but it slices through me as viciously as the very first time. How long has it been now? 5, 6 months? Half a year trapped in this endless spin of justification, half-truths, and unfulfilled promises, constantly veered off course. Despite her alleged interest in my unique condition, despite our shared thirst for answers, despite the growing urgency, the revolution to my dilemma always hovers just beyond my grasp. Still, she is the first kindred to make me believe she could truly grant me reprieve. I've been only on my end of the bargain. Not once have I raised objection, not once have I strayed from our agreement. But I'm not one of your puppets, Veritrub. I thought I made my stance unequivocally clear. That you did. This cannot go on. You need to deliver on your promises, or I'm walking away. She cracks a smile, as stunning as is it rare, like a dragon flashing his fangs. He suits her, giving her true nature. All in due time, dear. All in due time. Damn her and her cruel love for stringing me along. Can see she has no more information to share about matters of import to me, but perhaps I could see whether she's involved with Sansaric as well. I'm tired of this conversation, but let me give you a treat for a job well done. I have a nice new herd downstairs, freshly acquired. Come with me and relax. Feed. Enjoy yourself. You've worked so hard, my dear boy. You deserve it. With these words on her lips and a pat on my head, as if placating a morose hound, she saunters towards the lower deck. Shut up! Just shut up! You idiot! You dimwit! You fool! I instantly reach for my ring, but after a brief moment of contemplation, conflicts, and weighing pros and cons, I follow. Couple of days ago. Oh, this is at the circulatory system. This is Jessica. You fucking with me, right? Lab worker. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I just figure you just should know. I mean, he's your sire, right? Is that what you guys call it? So yeah, this is one of the Ventru ghouls. Technically, yeah, but not practically. Not anymore. Thank fuck. I would spit into the fucking void where God might be for that blessing. But Jesus, I thought you lot were only telling him from this shady-ass deals. No, as far as I know, the Ventru board doesn't give a damn about it. Benign stuff like that is just a blip on the radar. But deliberately jeopardizing the system's supply lines, that's signing your own debt warring. Shit! Why the hell is he aiming for the SAD? What was he thinking going full on Undead Snowden like that? Undead Snowden, yeah. It doesn't look like he aimed for anything. He just left enough crumbs to pique their interest. ... You thinking of tipping him off? Oh sure, right away. Let me have him give a call like this instant. What do you think, Nima? Fuck him. It's high time he choked on his old pile of shit.